recovered, doing fine.
And Nancy was still doing it. She, I think, walking pneumonia. And now everything's all fine.
President Reagan, how do you think your successor is doing in his first 100 days? There seems to be some discussion about that.
Well, I'm not a part of that discussion because I think he's doing just fine, and he was a major part of everything that we did for the preceding 8 years, and I'm very pleased to have him here.
President Reagan, there's been some suggestion that President Bush has been a little slow in reacting and responding to Mr. Gorbachev. How do you feel about that, sir?
As I say, I think he's doing just fine.
Mr. President, what do you feel about Ollie North these days, now that he's built a legal defense on an assertion that he was only following orders the entire time in the Iran-Contra affair?
Here's one where I think we're both in the same boat. With this before a jury now, I don't think any comment is appropriate or proper with regard to that.
Were you aware, Mr. President, that documents were not seen, some important documents were not seen by the Iran-Contra committees in the Hill?
Well, again, as I say, I just don't think this is a time to comment.
Mr. President, Mr. President Reagan, would you comment on the passing of Lucille Ball today for us, please?
Well, yes, I've issued a statement on that. I think it's a great tragedy, and all of us are affected. She was a friend. We loved her dearly, and she's truly going to be missed.
Mr. President, what do you think of President Bush's decision to cut funding for Star Wars and military aid to the Contras?
Well, having had for 8 years some of the same problems he's facing now, I'm not going to comment on that. I think that I can rest assured that he means to maintain our national security. There are many problems to contend with.
President Bush, the Supreme Court today will be considering an abortion case. Would you like to see that be the first step in a move to ban abortion in this country?
Yes.
And President Reagan, same question?
I think we've been agreed on that. You know my position on abortion.
President Bush, you looking for any tips today or anything
Yeah,
in this meeting?
always.
On what?
Life its own self, as Dan Jenkins said. Life its own self. Figure that one out, Norm. But what it means is, I have a lot more to learn from President Reagan. As I've told you all, over and over again, I learned a lot in 8 years. I learned a lot about principle. Learned a lot about the world as it really is. And so I want to talk to him about the changes that are taking place abroad, Japan, NATO, Europe, all over the place, and get his advice. So that's what I hope this visit will be about.
Can you give us a sense of what he's told you here today, sir?
Well, we just started. He told me you were coming in. He said there'd be 2 waves, and we were going to take questions at the second wave. And that was all we've said so far after we said hello.
Would you like to enlist President Reagan's support for anything in particular,
Yes.
a mission special? Could you tell us about that?
No specific mission, but strong support, and I want to keep him fully informed, and respect for him around the world knows no bounds, and I've encountered that when I've met with 36, I believe it is, heads of state so far. And so I hope I can talk him into various missions or assignments as time goes by, but I'm respectful of his own private life and what he's doing, but there'll be plenty of opportunity to stay in touch, and that I'm determined to do.
President Reagan, do you think your successor inherited a kinder, gentler press corps, more so than you had?
Oh, I think we're familiar with that. I think one thing I want to tell you that I proved to him before you came in, if you're curious about that. I proved to him I was a Californian. We stood in the window and I showed him that you could see Catalina from here.
That's right. That's right. What a view. You all checked it. Yeah. It's worth a look out there.
You don't want any offshore oil drills out there, do you?
Any what?
Offshore oil drills out there.
Out where?
Out there at that view.
Well, I don't know that anyone's proposing that right now, but you know my position on that. Strong environmental concerns and strong concerns about this country becoming further dependent on foreign oil, and I'm convinced that the proper balance can be found.
President Reagan,
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Did you miss the White House, sir?
You missed the White House?
What?
Did you miss the White House?
Come on, guys.
No, it's in good hands.
I can tell you they miss him because the people there are the same. They're that same wonderful group. As you told me, we're first rate, and they talk very fondly about you and Nancy.
Thank you, gang.
Nice seeing you. Good to see you.